The quiet ones. There exists a certain kind of person who breathes easier when the front door closes behind them. The external environment with all its movement and volume does not appeal to them the way it appeals to others. Their energy does not expand in gatherings or on busy sidewalks. It expands in quietude, in the soft predictability of a space they have made their own. Most people struggle to understand this preference for solitude and familiar surroundings. The common assumption is that these individuals must be escaping something due to fear or personal limitation. Perhaps they lack confidence, or have not yet discovered how to appreciate social experiences properly. This perspective treats home-loving behavior as a problem waiting to be fixed. But researchers who study personality and emotion tell a completely different story about this tendency. Scientists have discovered that the preference for staying home often reflects real neurological and psychological patterns. These patterns are not defects or signs of emotional underdevelopment. They are simply variations in how different brains respond to stimulation and recover from daily demands. People who genuinely prefer domestic life are not withdrawing from reality or refusing to participate in what surrounds them. They have discovered an environment where their particular brain chemistry operates at its highest capacity. Their nervous systems function according to their own internal blueprint. And that blueprint happens to prioritize tranquility over commotion, substance over surface. This documentary explores 4 psychological types that explain why certain individuals feel most comfortable within their own walls. Each type is grounded in research about personality, neuroscience, and emotional processing. Recognizing which category fits your experience can offer clarity that transforms your entire relationship with yourself. What seems like a limitation might actually be your greatest psychological asset waiting to be recognized. The brain chemistry of home lovers. Before we examine the 4 types of people who prefer staying home, we must first understand what occurs inside the human brain when it meets the external world. It is not merely about personality traits or daily habits. The science behind home-loving behavior connects directly to biological wiring that exists from the moment we are born. Every human brain depends on chemical messengers called neurotransmitters to control mood, motivation, and mental energy. 2 of these substances play a critical role in determining whether someone flourishes in active settings or peaceful ones. The first is dopamine, which generates feelings of pleasure and reward during engagement with outer activity. The second is acetylcholine, which creates a sense of contentment during moments of inner focus and contemplation. Research from Cornell University has demonstrated that people who seek external activity possess brains that react strongly to dopamine signals. They require elevated levels of engagement to feel satisfied and mentally alive. Crowded venues, novel encounters, and high-tempo situations deliver the chemical payoff their minds constantly seek. Without such input, they frequently experience boredom or agitation. But individuals who genuinely love being home function through an entirely different biological system. Their minds carry heightened sensitivity to dopamine, meaning excessive outer activity actually floods and destabilizes them. They depend instead on acetylcholine, the substance that generates reward during focused attention and personal contemplation. Completing a detailed project, maintaining their living space, or spending time in thoughtful silence creates authentic satisfaction for them. Neuroscientists have also identified physical distinctions in the brains of those who prefer domestic settings. These individuals typically show greater blood circulation in the prefrontal cortex, the area governing complex reasoning and careful analysis. This finding clarifies why they tend to process experiences more deliberately and favor conditions that permit uninterrupted thought over constant distraction. The sensory guardian, the first type of person who loves staying home, possesses a mind that absorbs the world at an unusually high resolution. Background sounds that most people ignore can feel piercingly loud to them. Fluorescent lighting, pungent scents, and densely populated areas generate cognitive static that accumulates rapidly. This is not emotional weakness or theatrical overreaction. It is a verified neurological pattern affecting between 15 and 20% of all humans. Psychologist Elaine Aron documented this phenomenon in the mid-1990s after years of clinical observation. Her research revealed that certain people analyze sensory data with far greater thoroughness than average. Their brains lack the automatic filtering mechanism that allows most people to dismiss irrelevant background information. Each piece of input demands conscious processing, which places significant strain on mental resources during situations others handle effortlessly. Consider what happens when someone with this wiring visits a busy department store. Fragments of passing conversations, humming ventilation systems, visual advertisements competing for attention, and the physical proximity of dozens of strangers all demand simultaneous cognitive bandwidth. After 30 minutes in such conditions, their mental reserves have been entirely consumed. Domestic spaces offer these individuals something unavailable anywhere else. The familiar setting allows their overworked processing system to finally reduce its workload. They determine what sounds exist in their space, what level of brightness surrounds them, how much activity occurs at any given moment. This is not pickiness or a desire to impose rigid preferences on others. It represents intelligent self-preservation for a brain built to notice what others miss. Functional brain imaging studies have validated that these individuals display measurably different neural responses to identical stimuli. Their particular biology operates according to unique specifications that demand periodic withdrawal from high-input situations to restore proper functioning. The energy economist, the second type of person who loves staying home, treats social interaction as a limited currency that requires deliberate budgeting. They hold no animosity toward people and do not shy away from genuine human bonds. They simply understand that every conversation, every outing, and every group activity draws from an internal account that refills slowly over time. This pattern bears no relation to shyness or clinical social fears. Many energy economists excel at public speaking, navigate networking events with ease, and charm complete strangers without visible effort. The distinction emerges in the hours that follow. While certain people depart gatherings feeling invigorated and lifted, these individuals depart feeling as though they have just finished an intense athletic session. Researchers who examine temperament have connected this experience to core differences in autonomic response patterns. For some people, interpersonal contact triggers the sympathetic branch that governs alertness and readiness. Their bodies interpret casual conversation the same way they would interpret physical exertion. Muscle tension rises subtly, pulse quickens, and cognitive resources mobilize to handle the demands of each exchange. Such responses cause no harm during brief encounters, but they accumulate a toll when extended across several hours. Eventually, the body broadcasts that reserves have dropped and restoration must begin. Returning to familiar domestic surroundings creates optimal conditions for this restoration by eliminating the cues that sustain sympathetic activation. Inside their own quarters, energy economists transition into a recuperative mode at last. The parasympathetic branch assumes control, permitting pulse to decelerate, muscles to soften, and mental chatter to drift into calmer territory. Their preference for evenings indoors reflects wisdom rather than avoidance. It represents thoughtful management of a body that expends considerable resources during sustained human contact and requires adequate time to rebuild what was spent. The sanctuary builder, the third type of person who loves staying home, gets real joy from setting up their space exactly how they want it. They do not just live in a house or apartment. They shape it on purpose, turning each room into a place that helps them feel mentally and emotionally grounded. Every piece of furniture, every wall color, and every lamp serves a role they might not even realize. Studies in psychology have shown a strong link between how a space looks and how a person feels inside it. People who take an active role in designing where they live report feeling happier and less stressed day to day. Arranging a room gives them a feeling of being in charge that goes deeper than just making things look nice. It becomes a way of managing their emotions through their physical space. Sanctuary builders see the outside world as a place full of things they cannot predict or change. Public areas belong to everybody, which means nobody gets to decide the temperature, the noise, the mess, or the overall mood. Moving through these shared spots means always adjusting to whatever is happening around them. For certain people, this non-stop adjusting wears them down instead of waking them up. Their own place offers something completely different. Inside those walls, the sanctuary builder gets to be the only one who decides what they hear, what they see, and how the space feels. They move chairs to catch sunlight, or set up a soft corner for reading. They pick fabrics that feel good on their skin, and play sounds that help them focus or unwind. This kind of control over their surroundings brings a mental benefit they simply cannot get anywhere else. What looks to others like being too attached to staying inside is actually a sign of knowing themselves very well. These people have figured out exactly what kind of space helps them think straight, feel steady, and bounce back from the outside world. Their homes work as personal zones built for exactly what they need. The deep processor, the fourth type of person who loves staying home, carries a head that works at a slower and more thorough pace than most. They do not skim the surface of things or rush through what they experience. Instead, they sit with thoughts, turn them over from different angles, and follow questions wherever they lead. This kind of mental work requires space and quiet that busy public places simply cannot provide. People with this trait often have full inner lives packed with memories, daydreams, and ongoing projects they keep coming back to. A single conversation can give them something to chew on for hours or even days afterward. A book they finished might raise questions they keep circling back to for weeks. They do not take in what happens around them and quickly let it go. They hold on to it and keep turning it over long after the moment has ended. This way of thinking brings real rewards but also comes with real costs. Busy places with lots of noise and movement throw more at them than they can comfortably handle. Small talk feels tiring because they want to go deeper than casual chat allows. Social events that others find fun can leave them feeling stuffed and needing hours alone to sort through what they absorbed. Home becomes the perfect setting for this type because it stops the rush of new things coming at them. Without constant interruptions and fresh demands on their attention, they can finally do what they do best. They can think slowly, connect different threads, and let new thoughts form at their own natural pace. The deep processor is not running away from life by staying home, or giving themselves the setup they need to do serious thinking. Their preference for solitude is not a flaw to fix, but a feature that allows them to engage with the world on a level that rushed in noisy settings would never support. Solitude versus loneliness. There is a difference between being alone and feeling lonely that most people never bother to examine. These two experiences get treated as the same thing in daily life, but psychology sees them as completely separate. Understanding this separation changes everything about how we view people who prefer staying home. Loneliness is a painful state that comes from wanting more connection than you currently have. It does not depend on whether other people are physically near you or far away. Someone surrounded by coworkers, family members, or party guests can still feel deeply disconnected from all of them. The hurt comes from a mismatch between what your heart needs and what your life actually provides. This mismatch creates genuine suffering that wears down both body and mind over time. Solitude operates in a completely different way, refers to time spent alone that feels purposeful, calm, and restorative. People experiencing solitude are not lacking anything or searching for company they cannot locate. They have removed themselves from others deliberately because aloneness offers them something they truly need. Being by themselves fills them up, rather than hollowing them out. Studies have confirmed that freely selected solitude delivers real gains for mental health. Those who regularly carve out time alone report feeling less stressed, more emotionally steady, and better able to think in fresh ways. What matters most is whether the aloneness was wanted or forced upon them. Unwanted isolation damages people, but deliberate retreat rebuilds them. People who love staying home have learned something valuable about their own needs. They recognize when they require company and when they require solitude. When they shut the door and sink into a night by themselves, they are not suffering from hidden loneliness. They are feeding a genuine requirement that their specific wiring demands. The calm they pursue acts as healing, not as exile. The self-companion most people learn early that they need others nearby to feel okay. The message comes from everywhere. Being alone means you have failed somehow, that you lack the social skills or likability that normal people possess. But certain individuals figure out something different about how they work. They realize they can provide their own support, keep themselves company, and stay grounded without outside help. Not everyone can spend hours by themselves and feel fine about it. This ability demands a working relationship with what goes on inside your own head, and many people never build that. Those who do build it are not troubled by quiet rooms or open schedules. They actually look forward to these stretches because their inner world holds plenty to explore and enjoy. Researchers who study personality have found that this trait links closely with grown-up ways of handling life. People who feel at ease being alone tend to show more steadiness under pressure, sharper judgment when facing choices, and less hunger for praise from others. They do not depend on constant reactions from the people around them to feel sure of who they are. Their sense of themselves grows from the inside out. This does not mean such people push others away or have no interest in closeness. Many of them build tight bonds with a handful of trusted people over time. What sets them apart is that their mood does not crash when those people are busy or gone. They can hold themselves up without leaning on someone else, which actually makes them stronger partners and friends over the years. For people like this, home is where being alone feels most natural and rewarding. Far from the pulls and pushes of public life, they can settle into their own rhythm and appreciate who they are. Staying in is not running from people. It is showing up for themselves. The misunderstood truth: people who prefer staying home often carry an invisible weight that others never see. They move through a world built for those who gain energy from crowds and constant activity. From childhood onward, they hear messages telling them something is off about how they live. Parents worry and teachers suggest they join more groups. Friends push them toward parties they never asked to attend. The pressure to be more outgoing starts early and rarely lets up. Job interviews reward those who seem excited to work in open offices surrounded by teammates all day. Dating culture celebrates people who want to go out every weekend and fill their calendars with social plans. Even healthcare providers sometimes treat a preference for staying in as a warning sign rather than a valid way of being. This constant push creates real damage over time. Many home-loving people start to believe that criticism might be right. They wonder if something is wrong with them. If their desire for solitude signals a problem they should try harder to solve. Years of this doubt can chip away at confidence and make them feel like outsiders in their own lives. But the research tells a completely different story. Studies on personality and happiness have found no evidence that extroverts live better or more meaningful lives than those who prefer less activity. Both styles of being come with their own strengths and challenges. Neither one is the correct way to be human. What home-loving people actually need is understanding, not correction. Their preference for calm and familiar settings reflects real differences in how their bodies and brains respond to the world. Once they stop measuring themselves against standards that were never meant for them, they can finally see their way of living for what it actually is, a perfectly reasonable response to being the kind of person they are. Coming home to yourself, we have traveled through the psychology of those who love staying home. And what we found along the way should change how you think about this way of living. This is not a lifestyle chosen out of fear or weakness. It grows from real differences in how certain people are built from the inside out. The 4 types we explored each reveal a different piece of this puzzle. The sensory guardian processes the world more deeply than most and needs protection from overwhelming input. The energy economist treats social contact as a resource that must be spent wisely and replenished regularly. The sanctuary builder shapes their living space into a place that fits their exact needs. The deep processor requires quiet to do the kind of slow, careful thinking that defines how their head works best. What connects all 4 types is a shared truth that society often fails to grasp. These individuals are not avoiding life or ducking their duties. They have simply discovered where they function at their highest level. Their choice to stay home reflects self-knowledge, not self-limitation. We also cleared up one of the biggest misunderstandings surrounding this topic. Being alone by choice and feeling lonely against your will have nothing in common. One nourishes you while the other drains you. People who love their own company are not secretly suffering. They have developed the rare ability to be at ease with themselves, which actually makes their bonds with others stronger and more genuine. If any of this sounds familiar, take a moment to appreciate what you now understand about yourself. Your preference for home is not something that needs changing. It is a feature of who you are, one that allows you to live in a way that matches your true nature. The world needs all kinds of people, including those who find their greatest clarity and comfort within their own 4 walls. You are not odd for preferring home. You are simply someone who has figured out what works for you. If this video helped you understand yourself better, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the human mind.